If you are over 60 and you take any daily medication, the next 10 minutes could be the most important thing you hear this year. Because right now, there are 4 pills that millions of seniors take every single day. Pills that were prescribed by real doctors for real reasons. Pills that are sitting in medicine cabinets across America, trusted completely, never questioned. And those pills are quietly, silently, and measurably destroying the kidneys that filter them every single day. I am a nephrologist. I have spent decades watching kidney function decline in patients who were doing everything they thought was right, taking their medications, following their doctor's orders, and still losing kidney function faster than their age or their diagnosis should ever explain. And when I started asking the right questions, the same answer kept coming up. Their pills. Here is what you need to understand before we get into the list. Every single pill you swallow arrives at your kidneys. Not metaphorically, literally. Your blood carries everything you consume directly through your kidneys' filtering system. And when your kidneys filter a medication out of your blood, they concentrate it in the kidney tubes during that process. The concentration inside those tubes can be 5, 10, sometimes 20 times higher than it was in your blood. Some medications, at those concentrated levels, damage the cells they touch. Slowly, silently, over months and years of daily use. Here is the number that should stop you cold. By the time you are 65, your kidneys are already working at about 75% of their peak capacity. By 75, around 65%. That reduced reserve means medications your body handled fine at 45 can create serious problems at 65. Same pill, same dose, different kidney, different rules. Before I get into the list, do something right now. Write in the comments below, how old are you? Where are you watching from? And how many medications do you take every day? I read every single comment personally. And hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more seniors who need to hear it. Now let's get into the 4 pills. Pill number 4, proton pump inhibitors, the heartburn pills you have been taking for years. If you take omeprazole, pantoprazole, lansoprazole, or esomeprazole every day, pay close attention. These are the heartburn pills, the acid reflux pills. They work. They genuinely reduce stomach acid and relieve symptoms. For short-term use, their safety record is good. But here is what happens when you take them for months, then years, then a decade. And this is something most people have never been told. Your stomach acid is essential for absorbing magnesium from everything you eat. When you suppress stomach acid with a proton pump inhibitor every day for months, your magnesium absorption falls. Slowly at first, then significantly, then dangerously. And magnesium is the mineral that maintains the integrity of your kidney tubule cells, the cells lining the tiny tubes inside your kidneys that do the fine-tuning of what gets filtered out and what gets kept. Without adequate magnesium, those cells become vulnerable. Over years of daily use, progressive magnesium depletion silently degrades the very cells your kidneys depend on to function. But that is not the only mechanism. Here is where it gets worse. A significant number of adults taking proton pump inhibitors long-term develop something called acute interstitial nephritis. Your immune system begins attacking the supporting tissue of the kidney. Inflammation builds, scarring follows. And because this reaction produces almost no symptoms, your creatinine rises slowly on blood tests, your GFR falls gradually, and nobody connects it to the heartburn pill you have been taking faithfully every morning. A large study published in JAMA Internal Medicine followed over 170,000 adults on proton pump inhibitors. Long-term users had a 28% higher risk of developing chronic kidney disease and a 96% higher risk of kidney failure compared to adults managing the same conditions with H2 blockers. The risk increased with every additional month of continuous use. Patricia was 67, retired teacher from Georgia. 6 years on omeprazole for acid reflux. Kidney function declining steadily for 4 years at a rate nobody could explain. We tested her magnesium, critically low. We switched her to an H2 blocker, added magnesium supplementation, and monitored her closely. At 12 months, her GFR decline had slowed measurably. In 6 years of taking that pill, not one doctor had ever mentioned the word kidney in the same conversation as omeprazole. If you have been on a proton pump inhibitor daily for more than 3 months, ask your doctor this week whether you still need it, whether an H2 blocker could work instead, and when your kidney function was last specifically monitored. That conversation could change your kidney trajectory. Pill number 3, NSAIDs, the pain pills everyone takes without a second thought. Ibuprofen, naproxen, diclofenac, aspirin at anti-inflammatory doses. The pain pills, the ones you pick up at any pharmacy without a prescription. They work quickly, they cost almost nothing, and they are causing kidney damage in millions of seniors who have no idea that the pill they take 3 times a week for their arthritis is quietly attacking the same organ that filters it. Here is the mechanism. Your kidneys use specific compounds called prostaglandins to keep their own blood vessels open. Think of prostaglandins as your kidney's internal valve system. When your blood pressure drops, when you are dehydrated, when your heart is under stress, those prostaglandins keep the vessels feeding your kidney's filtering units dilated and maintain the blood flow the kidney needs to keep working. NSAIDs shut that system off completely. Every time you take ibuprofen or naproxen, you suppress prostaglandin production throughout your entire body, including inside your kidneys. For a healthy 30-year-old with strong cardiac output, the kidney manages. For you after 60, with cardiovascular reserve that has naturally declined and kidney function already at 70 to 75%, suppressing that prostaglandin protection even temporarily can drop kidney blood flow to levels that damage the filtering units directly. Do this once? Probably fine. Do this 3 times a week for 2 years because your knees hurt? You are creating repeated episodes of reduced kidney blood flow that accumulate into permanent loss of filtering capacity. Each episode leaves a little more scar tissue. Each scar replaces functional kidney tissue that will never come back. A massive meta-analysis published in The Lancet pooled data from over 4 million adults. Regular NSAID use was associated with a 31% increase in acute kidney injury risk and a 22% increased risk of progression to chronic kidney disease. The risk increased with every additional day of use and every increase in dose. James was 72, retired contractor from Ohio. Creatinine rising from 1.1 to 1.8 over 3 years. When I asked about medications, he listed his prescriptions. Then, almost as an afterthought, and I take ibuprofen most days for my back. Most days, for 3 years. Nobody had connected his daily ibuprofen to his rising creatinine. We stopped the ibuprofen and transitioned him to acetaminophen for daily pain control. 6 months later, his creatinine rise had slowed dramatically. 18 months later, his GFR had stabilized for the first time in 3 years. Acetaminophen at appropriate doses does not suppress kidney prostaglandins. It does not reduce kidney blood flow. If you are taking ibuprofen or naproxen regularly for chronic pain, ask your doctor this week whether acetaminophen could manage your pain adequately and when your kidney function was last specifically evaluated in relation to your pain medication. Before we continue, if this video is helping you, hit that like button right now and subscribe so you do not miss next week's video. Pill number 2, certain diabetes medications, the ones causing silent overnight kidney damage. This section is for the millions of seniors managing type 2 diabetes. Within the world of diabetes medication, there is a class of older drugs that continues to be widely prescribed, that works for blood sugar control, and that carries a kidney risk in adults over 60 that most patients and many general practitioners seriously underappreciate. Sulfonylureas. The specific names you might recognize are glipizide, glimepiride, and glyburide. These medications stimulate your pancreas to produce more insulin regardless of what your blood sugar is doing. For adults with good kidney function, they are reasonably tolerated. Here is where the kidney problem begins. After 60, your kidneys clear medications more slowly. Sulfonylureas accumulate as kidney function declines. They continue stimulating insulin production at times when your blood sugar does not actually require it. The result is hypoglycemia, blood sugar that drops too low. And here's the kidney damage story that loops through the heart. When your blood sugar drops too low, your body releases a surge of stress hormones, epinephrine, norepinephrine, cortisol. That stress hormone surge constricts blood vessels throughout your body, including the arteries feeding your kidneys. Your kidneys, already working with reduced reserve, experience repeated episodes of vascular stress from these hypoglycemic events that accumulate over time into measurable kidney damage. After 60, your ability to recognize hypoglycemia symptoms becomes less reliable. Episodes that would have woken you at 45 pass undetected at 70. Nocturnal hypoglycemia happens while you sleep, your body managing a metabolic crisis without your awareness. And every unrecognized hypoglycemic episode produces a kidney-damaging vascular stress response that nobody records and nobody monitors. A study published in Circulation, Cardiovascular Quality and Outcomes followed adults with diabetes over 65 on sulfonylureas versus metformin for equivalent blood sugar control. The sulfonylurea group had significantly higher hypoglycemic episode rates, higher cardiovascular mortality, and faster kidney function decline, with much of the excess damage attributable to hypoglycemia-induced vascular stress. Dorothy was 74, from North Carolina, 8 years on glimepiride, kidney function declining for 5 years. When I reviewed her glucose monitoring data, I found repeated overnight readings below 70 milligrams per deciliter, hypoglycemia happening while she slept, completely unrecognized, producing stress hormone surges that were stressing her kidneys every few nights. We worked with her endocrinologist to transition her to a newer medication class without hypoglycemia risk. At 12 months, her kidney function decline had slowed significantly. If you are over 60 and on a sulfonylurea, ask your doctor whether continuous glucose monitoring could identify unrecognized hypoglycemic episodes, and whether newer medication classes with kidney protective properties might be more appropriate for your situation. Pill number 1, over-the-counter combination pain relievers. The pill hiding in almost every senior's cabinet. This is the one that surprises people most. Not a prescription, not something a cardiologist prescribed, something you bought yourself at the pharmacy, something so ordinary that calling it dangerous sounds like an exaggeration. Combination pain reliever products, the ones containing 2 or 3 active compounds together, acetaminophen with aspirin with caffeine, or acetaminophen with antihistamines and decongestants, the headache tablets, the sinus relief pills, the general pain and fever combination products sitting on pharmacy shelves in every major brand. Here is why combination products damage your kidneys when single-ingredient products at comparable doses do not. Acetaminophen alone, at appropriate doses, manages pain through mechanisms that do not directly compromise kidney blood flow. The problem is what happens when aspirin is in the same tablet. Aspirin suppresses kidney prostaglandins through the same mechanism as other NSAIDs. It removes the kidney's blood flow protection system. Then add caffeine. Caffeine causes vasoconstriction in the renal blood vessels. It tightens the arteries feeding your kidneys. Each mechanism alone is manageable. Together, they produce a pattern of reduced blood flow to the inner kidney, medullary ischemia, that each ingredient independently would not create at the same doses. The combination is specifically more damaging than any ingredient taken alone. The research has known this for decades under the name analgesic nephropathy. Kidney damage from long-term combination analgesic use is documented so consistently in the literature that combination products containing phenacetin were removed from the market in many countries specifically because of the kidney damage they caused. Phenacetin is gone. The combination principle that made it dangerous remains in dozens of products still on shelves today. A landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine examined lifetime combination analgesic use and kidney function in adults over 50. Adults who had consumed more than 5,000 tablets showed significantly higher rates of chronic kidney disease and end-stage renal disease. The risk increased in a clear dose-dependent pattern and was specific to combination products. Single-ingredient acetaminophen at comparable doses did not show the same association. 5,000 tablets sounds like a lot. If you take 2 combination headache tablets a day, you reach 5,000 in less than 7 years. David was 73, retired accountant from Ohio. GFR dropped from 67 to 49 over 3 years with no explanation from his risk factors. No diabetes, blood pressure controlled, no prescription NSAIDs. When I asked about everything he consumed daily, including things he bought himself, he mentioned almost as an afterthought that he took 2 combination headache tablets every morning for tension headaches. 6 years, every morning, nobody had ever asked specifically about combination over-the-counter products. Nobody had connected 6 years of morning combination analgesic use to 18 GFR points of unexplained kidney decline. When we discontinued the combination product and replaced it with single-ingredient acetaminophen, his GFR decline rate slowed measurably at his 6-month follow-up. Go to your medicine cabinet right now. Look at every pill you take daily, not just prescriptions, but everything you buy yourself. If you see acetaminophen plus aspirin plus caffeine in the same product, and you take it regularly, that is the conversation to have with your doctor or pharmacist this week. Single-ingredient alternatives can manage your symptoms without the combination kidney burden. 4 pills, each of them present in the daily routines of millions of adults over 60 who are taking care of their health as responsibly as they know how. Each of them with kidney effects documented clearly enough to warrant a specific conversation, and each of them representing an opportunity, not a catastrophe, because awareness is the first step toward a conversation that could change the direction your kidney function is heading. Your kidneys do not send warning signals until they have lost roughly 70% of their capacity. By the time you feel something is wrong, the damage is already serious. The kidney is the silent organ. It does not complain. It just slowly loses function until the day your doctor uses the word dialysis, and you wonder how you got there. What goes into your body every single day, including every pill in your medicine cabinet, matters more than almost anything else for the kidneys you are going to need for the next 20 or 30 years. Here is what I want you to do right now. 3 things. First, comment below right now. Tell me which of these 4 pills you currently take daily, and tell me your age. Second, hit that like button. It is free, and it helps YouTube show this to more seniors who need this information. If 10,000 seniors watch this and has one conversation with their doctor about their medications, we protect 10,000 kidneys together. Third, click on the video on your screen right now. I made a video specifically about the one vegetable that nephrologists eat every single morning to protect their own kidneys, and why most people walk right past it in the grocery store. Watch it next. Take care of those kidneys. See you in the next video.